Today, we're having a technical and business session, which is sponsored by Argyle IT and Education. Just quick apologies in terms of our start time. We'll just continue. So quick housekeeping rules. Just to help and to aid with the presentation. Of course, you've been automatically muted and your cameras are switched off during the presentation. This is for your own experience. It would be nice if you could rename, and add company and affiliation. Please use the question and answer functionality for questions, so you can submit your questions at any time. And we'll endeavor to answer these during the Q&A session. We hope to have networking at the end of the event, so there you could ask even further questions. This meeting is recorded, and the slides can also be provided after the webinar. So I'll be so this is just a quick overview of the agenda. So we've talked about it, like I've welcomed, and just quick one, of course, this is an online meeting. So in terms of safety, you are in charge of safety at where you are. So endeavor you are aware of the safety requirements at your location. So I'll be handing you over to the representative of the chapter coordinator. So the chapter coordinator is Dr. Christopher Iwobi. Is not here at the moment. He's asked Mr. Gideon Giwa to stand in for him. So who is also going to be chairing this meeting. So I'll hand us over to Mr. Gideon Giwa. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining the September technical meeting for the Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists. It's always a delight to have you all join us. Thank you very much. A bit of background. Very happy to hand over to Dr. Chris Iwobi, who has been doing a fantastic job of running the association and the chapter in the past couple of months, leading up to this presentation today, with a couple of experience in the past with myself in the industry as well, with time spent with the operators in Nigeria, in The Hague, and in the UK. Thank you very much. So I would like to introduce us to today's topic, which has been aptly prepared by our speaker. We'd like this slide for our speaker to come up, please, so that I can introduce our speaker. Thank you, everyone. Yes, thank you very much. Our speaker is Opeyemi Ibukun, who is well known to us, a very hardworking member and executive of the chapter. Thank you, Opeyemi. Opeyemi graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Geology and Mineral Sciences from Crawford University before proceeding to Heriot-Watt in Edinburgh for his Master's in Petroleum Geosciences from the Institute of Geoenergy Engineering. He's presently a PhD student in Petroleum Engineering with Heriot-Watt University, and has over 10 years experience in geology, geomechanics, and well engineering. Right now, he has a dual role of being the Managing Director of Argyle Petroleum Nigeria Limited, the Chief Executive Officer of Argyle IT and Education, a career EdTech company. And it's good to bear in mind that the focus of our talk today is EdTech, or education technology. And Opeyemi is going to speak to us about the application of Education 4.0. And what does that mean, Education 4.0? He's going to tell us about that. And why are we interested in that subject? Because it enhances learning and preparing us, both supporting us now and preparing future geoscientists as well. So once again, the title of the talk is Application of Education 4.0, Enhancing Learning and Preparing Future Geoscientists. What is the short abstract to this talk that we're going to listen to today? The short abstract is Education 4.0 is a modern education paradigm that incorporates new technology and pedagogical advancements. This presentation looks to tease out how Education 4.0 ideas through Agile learning management system can be used in geoscience education, showing how they are having a revolutionary influence on teaching and learning in this subject. Before I introduce the speaker and hand over to him, let me give you a little story and anecdote similar to this. I remember about 20 years ago, I came up with a paper for NAPE. I submitted an abstract on the title of the subject, Knowledge Management. It was the early stages of this concept. And I remember one of my professors from Ilorin at the time saying to me, Giwa, what is this? You're supposed to be talking about geology. You're talking about knowledge management. And I was explaining to him, so Prof, this is the future. We have to manage knowledge, both as an industry and as academia as well, that knowledge management is the future. So I'm not surprised with AI, LMSs, and all this new tech, EdTech, as it's called. So I look forward to this talk. Please, questions and answers will be entertained. You can drop your questions on the chat, and we'll answer them, we'll take them after the presentation. So thank you very much, Opeyemi, for addressing this subject, which has always been dear to my heart for decades. Look forward to hearing you talk to us about Education 4.0. I hand over to you now, our speaker, Opeyemi Ibukun. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction and a fantastic overview of the presentation. I don't think I need to say much anymore. So thank you so much. The title has been discussed, has been mentioned and explained. I think I'll just quickly use this opportunity to kind of give an overview of the company, Argyle IT and Education, and why did we start this? So Argyle IT and Education, we are a career edtech firm. You might be wondering, what do you mean by career edtech? So we career focused, so we're looking at everything that has to do with career, as well as education, because the reason why people go to university is for them to get a good job, or for them to start a business that can have an enduring legacy. So there's an end product. We don't just go to school just for the fun of it. So as a firm, we're looking at the end product as against, okay, yeah, just go in terms of education. So that's what influenced our strategies. And then we're based in the UK and in Nigeria. And then we've been developing this particular platform. It's called ARGVLE. So that means Argyle Virtual Learning Environment. So it's an all-in-one self-administered. So we are not the one that administer it. The university or the organization that administer it, they have full autonomy. Self-administered all-in-one learning management system. We are teaching, learning, admin, and career mapping, as well as job application can be carried out. So why now? Of recent, NUC released a new CC mass new curriculum for universities, where universities are empowered to come up with 30% of the curriculum according to their local needs. This is quite apt because universities can start thinking about how they can empower their community around them. So that's just an overview of the company, our mission, and what we're trying to do, and even what we've worked on. So in the course of this presentation, we'll be going through the common enemy, the problem, Education 4.0, our solution, opportunities, and case study, and then making a case for Education 4.0. It might sound a little bit salesy, but we'll try not to make it salesy, but it's not salesy really, it's also technical. But there's no way it's going to be inherent. So if you think it's heavily salesy, pardon me, but that's not the intention. So what's the common enemy? The common enemy, they were dealing with is poverty, insecurity, and career insatisfaction. I think that's the bane in Nigeria. I think every one of us, we can relate to this. And the cause of that is poor education. And that needs to be solved. You might be asking, okay, yeah, that's the overview. That's the global problem, the major problem. But if we then try to focus that problem in terms of our universities, I just want to do a comparison, and I think it's important so that we can know where we are. We have two people. Of course, I'm pro girl education, so pardon me if I'm using female, yeah, but at least there's a male at the far left of the picture. So one is based in the UK and the other Bola in Nigeria. For the one in the UK, she has 79% chance of going to any of the 164 universities. She makes use of learning management system platforms and career advisory services. And after that, she's got 88% chance of securing a job in 6 months. In Nigeria, Bola has 26% chance. And now that's not just only universities. I'm talking about polytechnics inclusive, colleges. This is data from JAM. So it's not data I'm just coming up from. So she has 26% chance of securing admission. No learning management system, no advisory services, and she has 60% chance of securing a job. She has a lot of hurdle to climb after she finishes secondary school. In terms of corporates, if you look at corporates, of course, right now it's divided into, employee. We'll start with the employee. In terms of the employee, of course, after you've graduated, of course, it's competitive. We mentioned 60% chance. A lot of people are not confident in terms of their competency when they graduate and even the industry direction. We just try our luck and we see how we go. We say we're going into the oil industry. Do you want to become a productive physicist? Do you know if your strength is in drilling engineering? You have no clue. Or even structural geology. Most times we can't even track our continuous professional development and see how we can map our career. And then preserve and present our portfolio. In terms of employers, I think COVID has made hiring very, very difficult at the moment. So we have that. Then we have the global resignation and the JAPA movement, especially in Nigeria. So that has made hiring really difficult. Then in order to maintain a pipeline of talent, training of and onboarding of employees, new hires is required, as well as training of mid-level staff to fill in managerial positions. So these are issues, these are problems that corporates, even a lot of the oil companies in Nigeria, they have to deal with. So the question is, what's the solution? Of course, we know the solution is education, but we want to look at in terms of the objectives and even the evolution of education with time. So the first education that we all, and a lot of us, some people are still going through that, especially in Nigeria, is education 1.0. This is teacher-led. So someone stands in the classroom, dictates notes. Students has little or no input. Of course, the input you have is more or less you ask questions to clarify. There's no use of technology. Then later on, we have education 2.0. This was founded on Web 1.0, which was read-only, and then 2.0, that's read and write. So in terms of read and write, then you have universities now having websites. And of course, Web 2.0 led into the social media and also video platforms that we have. The beauty about education 2.0 is that it led to the invention or the advent of LMS that we currently have and which has improved the time. And now we have education 3.0. So that's founded on Web 3.0 that has to do with read, write, and execute. So this is bringing more of the student aspect. The students are now becoming in charge. So it empowers student-led learning. It has led to advancement in LMS, so where we have adaptive and personalized learning. That's education 3.0. For education 4.0, that's what we're currently facing right now. I think a lot of us we're familiar with the concept of machine learning, data analytics. These are concepts that we are all familiar with, which is for Web 4.0. This is symbiotic web where we are blurring the line between humans and technology. Miranda, she mentioned four core concepts for this education 4.0. One of it is student competency, new learning methods, then information and communication technologies and infrastructure. So where we're combining, both digital and physical. So these are the 4 concepts for Education 4.0. So in terms of components of Education 4.0, which we're looking at in detail, so the first one is blended, which has to do with mixture of face-to-face and online learning, or self-paced and teacher-led. Course materials are made available to students in preparation for face-to-face session. So what this does is that students go study the concepts, and classroom becomes more of an interaction, where case studies are taught, and then this leads to the next concept, like we can now start looking at project-based learning, where you could identify a particular problem, brainstorm the ideas, and then you create prototypes. So the beauty about this is that, of course, students start incorporating skills like critical thinking, problem solving, resilience, persistence. And you could also, you might decide not to have the students create prototypes, and you can just have problem-based learning, where you're trying to develop their knowledge. We've heard about knowledge management, and then answering questions. So that helps with improving creativity, teamwork, leadership, root cause analysis, then even making our students more solution-minded as against just problem, because most times the problem in Nigeria is, and most places, is that we know the problems, but how are we going to fix it? The 4th component is gamification, incorporating the concept of game into your curriculum to promote engagement or to explain a complex concept. Then multidisciplinary, so where we have STEAM, so science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths. And the beauty about geosciences is that it's heavily multidisciplinary. So it's a combination of all 5. If you do mapping, there's no way you're an artist. You can draw. So it incorporates all. And then the 6th one concept is augmented virtual reality. And I can remember, I don't know if it's 2021, NAPI did a virtual field trip. So we are also already incorporating this. Then the 7th one is data-driven learning. So we're use of big data analytics. A lot of the work we do in the industry is data-driven, analyzing logs, looking at everything, cleaning it up and all that, even seismic and everything. And these are data. So that's also one component. And then the 8th one is personalized learning. A lot of students learn at their own pace. Some students are visual learners. Some students need to read and read and read. And some students, you need to even break it further down. So where you could do adaptive, you need a system that provides adaptive learning, personalized learning, and even automation. Because for you as a lecturer to kind of cater to one person in that kind of listing, cater to one person in the midst of maybe 200 students, that would be difficult to do. So with technology, that's where technology Education 4.0 helps you with doing that. Then AI and machine learning. I think I would just kind of throw one in terms of this AI and machine learning is that as much as it's good, I think the students must understand the basics first. So the basics is important. And then the last one, the last point in terms of component is lifelong learning. We know that, we are ever learning. Even if you're in the industry, you're still learning. And so we want to equip students and even the workforce with skills and mindset required for that. So these are the components of Education 4.0. What are the advantages? Of course, improved quality and access of higher education. I've mentioned that we're looking at 26% of, I think I need to qualify that 26%. That's 26% of 2.1 million people. So it means that we are letting down almost 1.5 million people every year in Nigeria from having access to higher education. So technology can only do that for us because of the scalability. So that's something we need to be looking at. Subject matter experts can develop course materials, and then classes can be divided into tutorial classes that can be taught by graduate assistants. So these are part of the benefits of Education 4.0. It promotes student autonomy of lifelong learning. So where students are in charge, then you have increased interaction with lecturers. Lecturers can provide, the right pastoral care. Then the alumni, they are an untapped gold mine for universities. Universities need to, I think, do a lot of marketing to alumni, where they are selling short courses, continuous professional courses, even using the alumni in terms of mentorship and networking. That's an untapped gold mine. Then better and faster course curriculum. So curriculum accreditation can be done online. And then we can have organizations like NMGS, Coren, and NAPI also play an active role, developing competency framework that could help in improving curriculum and even course the quality of education. And we could also have industry input in the curriculum design. There are skills and employability. Of course, we're all talking about digital skills and everything. Not all of us should go into computer science or computer engineering. You could still have digital skills and be a very good geologist. I think really the reality is that in terms of Nigeria, we require at least 4 million barrels of oil production if we want to be economically stable. So at the moment, we're doing around 1 million. So it means that we still have huge opportunities, even in the oil industry, for people. So in terms of skills and employability, these are things that we need to do where, we are now mapping career pathways and then helping to build industries in that line. Then networking. Networking is also another one where, students can network with past students and then even industry people. So these are the things that, these are the advantages of Education 4.0. So how do you implement Education 4.0? You may ask. A lot of universities have already started this, investing in infrastructure, equipment, and internet. But the one that a lot of them are really, making a lot of effort on is the EdTech solution that they use and the partner. I think the advice is choose one with great customer support and knowledge in digital pedagogy. That is key. You need to choose based on your own strategy, what you're planning to implement. And this applies also to corporate organizations looking at incorporating Education 4.0 in terms of in training their staff. Then developing a digital culture. So I think, of course, that's important. This among students, lecturers, administration, that's important. Then train the teachers. You need to train the teachers or the users of the platform, how to use the platform, as well as even on digital pedagogy, on instructional course design. Then change management. I think this is one where a lot of people drop the ball on. There needs to be a lot of empathy, like empathy towards all the stakeholders. For successful transition, patience. You can't do it within a year. If universities in the UK that are already using LMSs, LMSs, they are transitioning from one to the other, and they are giving themselves 3 to 5 years to do that transition. How much more if you're starting from scratch, you've never used one before? You need to give yourself time. So patience is also important. Then monitor, incentivize. Sometimes you can incentivize. You could do a bonus scheme. Okay, if you can learn how to do this, based on your salary, we can give you bonus if you can admit more students based on you incorporating technology. Then offer ongoing training. Most times we expect we assume that once you've trained them once, that is it. Ongoing training is required. And then the other one, which will be a controversial suggestion, but it's not controversial at all. I've seen this really happening. It's that do not use your ICT department to offer ongoing support. They are burdened. It might be a VC and you might say, oh yeah, this is ICT, they will just tell you yes, sir, but they won't do it. If you want to get this up and going, then you need a third party to support you, whose work is helping you to make sure this is properly done. So in terms of barriers for adoption, so number one is cost. And then if you look at the other one, it has to do with staff. Staff confidence, staff training, staff knowledge in the tools that are most suitable, teachers not willing to use it. So a lot of it has to do with staff skills. So the major barrier is the teacher or the instructor. So, and this is where your support needs to be targeted at if you're doing this. And then, of course, digital divide among households. Not every household can afford a laptop for you to power this, or a smartphone. So, but if you can tackle these barriers, then in terms of successfully delivering this, would not be an issue. So our solution, I've talked about our solution in detail. This is just an overview of this. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough in terms of our solution. But I just want to mention that in terms of what I'm going to walk through, that I'll be showing you, like, in terms of external, you could have external, internal organizations join your platform. And then we have top level and sub organizations where you can create university, colleges, and departments. And in corporate organizations, you can create different organizations, sub-organizations, and you can share resources. Course authoring is done there. Mastery and competency, assessment and grade groups and teams, gamification, automation, activity display. A lot of people complain that, oh, how do you check if students are attending? How do you manage, truancy and stuff like that? With the activity display, you can do that and provide robust pastoral care. Then personalized learning paths, and then e-commerce. Because of course, whether we like it or not, as much as university is for social good, you're a business. You need to generate revenue for you to sustain, for you to finance research. Even for organizations like NAPI, for you to be able to deliver conferences, have this kind of presentation. So e-commerce, making the money, making sure you know where your money or your funding is coming in, or your revenue being generated, is important. So in terms of our solution, we've won a number of awards. So in the course of development, so these are just a list of what we've won in terms of trial since we've started. So opportunities and case study. So I've listed this. This is just a news article, out of 1.9. Yeah, these are the people that was in 2020. Out of 1.9, this is the amount that gain admission. So what this means to universities is that we don't have a supply problem. We don't have a demand problem. People want education. What we are lacking is supply, providing the spaces. So that this is huge opportunity for us. And then in terms of apart from even that, which I've mentioned in terms of what we are lacking, there's also the opportunity in terms of university employer collaboration and the alumni market, which is a huge one. And then untapped gold mine in West and Central Africa. A lot of West African and Central African young people are demanding education from Nigeria. We can be the UK for them. Then professional bodies, so short courses, accreditation, setting up competency framework, and then like what NAPI does in terms of university assistance program, where you can scale that in an efficient manner. So what opportunities for students and graduates? So I think the aim is for us to have global geoscientists that have, geoscientists that have global knowledge, but can solve local problems and unlock opportunities. That's what we're looking at. Well, that's the aim. And I think, every one of us, we have a role to play in this. But apart from, of course, geoscientists, like, we're developing the market for geoscientists. One of the things, the beauty with what we're trying to do in terms of the career ethics space is that it's going to create a lot of opportunities, employment opportunities. So these are some of the roles in our sector that currently will be increasingly be developed, with universities adopting Education 4.0. So you might ask, where have we done this? So we have a case study, Niger Delta University. We currently have a site, our platform live. They're currently using it for their petroleum engineering department. So we have 478 students on it. We deployed a dedicated help desk officer who is there, providing support, continuous support. And we trained a lecturer and 2 personnel from the ICT on a professional diploma in digital learning. And we trained 18 lecturers from that department on how to use the platform. And one of the learnings that we gained from this was that, change and project management was important. And so right now, we started providing one-on-one coaching with the lecturers, working with them on how they can create their courses and make it engaging for students. So that's some of the things that we've done. And this is just an example of certificates that we issue. So you might be asking, how does geosciences come in this in terms of digital pedagogy for geosciences? So in terms of, this is just suggestion. You can always tweak this. I think the first one will be course materials. We want you to focus on concepts, utilize sub-lessons. So a lot of times when I see a lot of materials created on platforms, you see those lessons as long as anything, sometimes almost 300 pages long. And then, I know you want your students to read, but most times they don't read it. It's difficult for them to read. So if you can break it in chunks using sub-lessons, that would be fantastic. You could award points or score for reading it. And you could always ask for bullet point summary from your students so that you understand that they understand the concept. And then when you're having a lecture, the lecture can be based on either a case study, you're solving a case study, or a problem around that particular topic. And then, of course, use facilitation, asking the students, what do you think? You'll be surprised with what the students will come up with. It's going to be engaging for you. You might even be having ideas for your research in the course of this, because new ideas will be coming out. And then, of course, one of the things we would encourage is that you could use the live lecture. So where you could have, you could deliver the lecture like we're having right now, and then it's recorded and it's saved on the platform. And so you can go back and your students can go back to study. Then assessment. So in terms of assessment, checking students' knowledge, you could do a bi-weekly coursework, which could be team-based because you want to foster teamwork. And you could so some could be team-based, so not everything. And you can randomly grade one because, of course, you want independent learning. And you can randomly grade one. And you can award a mark for that. Then you could have weekly quizzes. So when you treat a concept like a particular topic, you could do participation quiz, and you could give as many attempts as possible to reinforce that concept, making the students, at least you want them to get 100%. And until they get 100%, they cannot move to the next topic. So that's something you could do. And then you could have one graded quiz, one attempt, and then that will be scored. And then you could have your mid-semester test once, and then final exam. You could have that in there. So you might be asking, you've just been showing us this. So I'm just going to do a quick stop and share. I just want to do it just to share in my screen again, just to show you how this is implemented on our platform. Using a course that we've developed. So I just can quickly do that. Okay, so this is our platform. This is how it looks like. So so I'm just going to do a quick overview. So this is our platform. This is the dashboard that gives a summary of what we have. This is announcements. So where you can put in announcements. So as university-wide, you can put in your announcement in there. And then each person would have a profile. And in terms of this is how the profile looks like. Yeah, and it has social networking where you could have friends. So you could have friends there and you can see where your friends are there. You could chat up with them. So you could chat up with them and yeah, this is your profile there. So it has its own calendar. So in terms of the calendar, sorry, this is not a calendar. So it has email. So you could send email from the platform. So you could add your university email in here and you could send emails to people. It has calendar, its own calendar, site calendar, just like your Google Calendar. You could also create events and you could create events that has web conferencing. So the platform has its own web conferencing. So you don't have to pay for Zoom or any other third-party platform, web conferencing platform to use it. And you can schedule events and you could have that in there. And then you have notification that notifies you of things that are happening. So for us to foster collaboration, we have groups. So we have groups. In terms of the groups, you could put in passcode, access code, where you don't want someone to join your group except they have the access code, except you send it to them. And then if you go into a particular group, just like we're going into this one now, these are what's available in terms of the group. So each group, it has its own news. You can send news announcements to your members. You can see the list of your members. You could also share resources. You can look at, look at the resources that you've got in there. You have forums. So forums in terms of knowledge management where you can discuss. So this fosters discussion and all that. You have chat room. So you could also have your chat room. Yeah, in terms of, where you can discuss with your members and yeah, you can select the people that you want to discuss with. So, and in the chat room, you could do audio and video call. We've got wiki. So you could create wiki pages based on different concepts that you want people to collaborate on. And then you could create blogs. So each person can have their own blog in there and then admin. So that's in terms of group level. So that's groups. In terms of users, so the platform has different user types. So lecturers or teachers, teaching assistants, co-teacher, students, admin, super admin, parents, affiliate, alumni, mentor, and monitor. So NAPE could have a monitor account in a particular university where they can just come in terms of accreditation, just to look at how things are going on. So that's for that one. And then organization. So this is the high level organization, and these are the sub-organizations. So you can create as many sub-organizations. So you could have, college, and you can have departments in this thing, and each of them has their own profile for each organization and their own accounts, and can be self-administered, just like you have in terms of universities, the way it is. So it has been modeled in terms of the way how universities work. And then you have resources. So you can share resources. You have question bank. So where you could have like lecturers creating like your question bank. You can make it private, you can make it personal, or you can make it public where you want to share it with someone else. You have, so these are the list of these things: certificates, rubrics, they're like marking criteria. So you could have your marking criteria, and then you can attach this to a particular assessment. Then you have grading scale. So you can put in your grading scale, how you want marks to be awarded. Then you have assessment, course templates, content templates, competency. You can put in competencies where these are the things you want your students to learn, and then you can calculate you can access how competent they are in what they've learned in terms of, you can grade it, so you can give scores to their skills. So what that does is, like, for example, if of course, every one of us, we did geology when we did undergrad, but maybe someone is strong, is good in someone is robust in structural geology, and the other is in petroleum geology. How do you know? So this is where the skills would really help. And what that means is that, if I'm good looking for a job and I'm saying, okay, it's a petrophysics job, with my BSc in geology, I could tell an employer to say, oh yeah, based on what my university has tracked in terms of my strength is in petrophysicist. Do not employ Mr. Giwa because he's good in sedimentology. So that helps in terms of employer, in terms of targeted employment. And then you have reports, and then the admin where you can you can manage the system. I'll just quickly go through the catalog. So how does it look like in terms of the catalog? So for example, I've created a particular course, and you as a university, you want to sell this. This is what the visitor sees when they go on your page, and they click on catalog. And if you look at this, in terms of the platform empowers you to create teacher-led course, blended course, self-paced course, and micro-learning. So in terms of micro-learning, in order to, this is important for lifelong learning, where you want to deliver courses in bit size for people who are professionals and don't have the time to really study, but they want to understand concepts. So that's the different types. And then you have courses and programs. Programs will be like 4-year courses, like a bachelor's degree or master's degree or PhD. And courses will be like, the individual ones in them. So this is how the course looks like in terms of the welcome page. Welcome page, like your course. You see, you could add to, my courses you can buy. This is free. This is free. If there's an amount there, you could pay for it, and then you could have access to it. It has a welcome panel, and then it has description, list of course content, entry requirements. So you could have your entry requirements, and then you could have employability, have jobs, industries, salary, working condition, what to expect, typical work responsibility, and where to look for vacancies. So this is what we've got there. So let us go into a course, just quick one. I'll just do that quickly. So in terms of the course, this is how the course looks like for a teacher. This is a teacher view in terms of creating their course. And then you might ask in terms of, okay, how does this do personalized learning? So you can mandate if this lesson should be completed from this module mandate this lesson to be completed for module completion. So it means that if a student has not done this, they can't progress to the next stage. And you could put in actions, you could automate, you could say, okay, once you've completed this, do you want to add a particular assessment, or you want to add a particular module or topic? You could award points, badges, and stuff. So the system automatically does that for you. Or maybe you want to put them into a group, like, okay, a group of people that you need to give focused attention on. So these are things that you could do. You could create actions. And then you could track competency. So these are the competencies attached to this particular one. So you could add, and you could say, okay, I want to add more, where I have, these are the competencies that the student stands to gain when they do this particular course material. They go through this particular course material. And you see, you have 1.1, 1.1. This has to do with sub-lessons. So you could create as many sub-lessons as possible, and you can add resources. So you could add resources, you can hide and show resources you want the students to see. So giving you full control of the system, of the part of how the education is done. And here you've got what we call live lecture. This is live lecture. So you could add live lecture, and you could put in materials that you want the students to learn. So expected to read the material provided and be ready with questions. And then you've provided case study, you can put in your case study. And then, the students can start coming up with ideas. And you can reinforce concepts by having quiz. So here, you could put in quiz, you can reinforce concept. You could have your question bank, here you had your questions, and you could hide in terms of questions, different states. So in terms of the questions, you could have as many questions as possible, true or false, multiple choice, and arithmetic, and you could do whatever you like in terms of, in terms of reinforcing concepts or quizzes, having quizzes in there. So it might be, apart from even that type of the assignment that you've seen, quizzes, we have different types of assessment types that you could also create. So you could create quiz offline where you have the students to do the homework. They give you paper and you mark, and you can just put the score out, provide a score on the platform. Essay, survey, debate, scrum, team assessment, where you want them to be in teams, attendance, unit check, Turnitin. And so these are the different types that we've got. So in terms of the team assessment, this is the way the team assessment looks like. You can add team, and each person can go, and you can add people to the team, your students to the team, and they can do the work. Or you could do debate. So this is how the debate looks like, where they can debate a particular proposition, and you will see what they've done in terms of for and against. That's for that. I'm just going to show you how the live lecture that we have on the system, how that works while it's loading. I just want to show you in terms of what the platform, in terms of a course. So a course comes with the module, welcome, games. So you can incorporate games. You can also incorporate blogs. You could add blogs, the syllabus, assessment, dashboard, news, gradebook, attendance. So you could see, you could also track in terms of attendance of your students. You could do that there. You could also look at their gradebook in terms of where you're grading them. So the system can auto grade, and you can also manually grade and override also grading. You can override grading too. So I'm going to join with audio. So because I'm already using the camera, so this is how the gradebook looks like. You could grade and access your work, and you can make it anonymous. So where you don't know the students, and you can grade that. And then mastery in terms of skills. So this is how the skills are, and where you link the skills, and you can see the students, their scores, how, to determine where they are competent at in terms of in different areas. So this is, and then activity indicator. This is just an activity indicator. You can see the list of things that are done, that has been done on this platform. So here, this is the live lecture that comes with the platform. You could record. Once you record and you finish the lecture, it is saved.
Recording is on.
It is saved on the platform for you to go back, and also for the students to also watch. And if you look at this, you have your participants, you have your chat. Everything is also saved on the platform, and anything that you share is also saved on the platform. It comes with its one whiteboard where you can do whatever you want to do. So where you could sketch ideas, and you could play video and what have you. So you could have your pen, you could activate it, your pen, and you could sketch ideas, and you have protractors and different stuff, and you have it in there. So this is an overview of that. So I'm going to end this lecture, so for this lecture right now, we'll just go under resources, which I've ended, so under here, the live lecture saves, and you have that in there. So that's an overview of the platform. You might be asking, how does it look like for students? How does the platform looks like for students? So in terms of students, the view for students, it's similar to what I've shown you. So this is how it looks like for students. When the student comes in, they're enrolled in it, they start learning. They can see and then they go into a course, a particular course. This is how it looks like for them. So yeah, they can add notes and do a summary of what they've understood when they've read a particular concept. And they can see in terms of the competency and what they will stand to gain when they've gone through this. So that's a quick snapshot view of the platform. And just to conclude my slide, my presentation, just to conclude the presentation. So making a case, for you to make a case on if you want to use Education 4.0, do your research, establish if we can help, identify immediate savings, do your numbers. It's important to do your numbers. Whatever you're saving now, you might have to pay that later on. So you need to ask yourself, what are the numbers? And then long-term benefits. What are the long-term benefits for you? That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Opeyemi, for such a very engaging presentation. We're very grateful for taking the time to educate all of us on the subject and present the amazing product that Argyle has developed. If I could take a step back and acknowledge the presence of our PE and also ex-coordinator of the UK chapter, person of Dr. Drobiton, and also Mr. Abiodun Bijabi. Before we proceed, also, please permit me to apologize for the delay in the start. I was just some technical issues that was taking a bit of a while to set up. But once again, thank you, Opeyemi. So now, before we take the questions, I don't know if Mr. Agujobi has a comment to make, and if we could have the program back on place on the screen sharing. If not, we'd like to take questions now. Anyone like to take questions? If you want to speak, you can raise up your hand or. Okay, so there's a question here from Dr. Ibineme. How can interested department or institution get the Argyle LMS? Please answer, Opeyemi.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you've started by asking. So I think, yeah, I'll drop my email, my details, and you can contact me. I will take it up from there, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll type an answer, yeah. Any other questions? If there's anything I can personally add, okay, yeah. Yeah, you can, yeah. Thank you from Happy Nigeria. You can use the Q&A. Oh, yeah, you can ask questions there. In the meantime, I'd like to just add one or two as well. Thanks for going into depth into this subject. As I said, my abstracts for that year's conference, I think it was 2001, was not accepted, of course. But I think right now, as you've said, it's very important for us to go beyond drawing lines or maps and the core technical part of geology, but also recognizing the role of how we impact that knowledge in a changing world via Education 4.0. So, any other questions? We'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Opeyemi, for a very good presentation. And we'd like to take the announcement by the PS, which is to be handled by Mrs. Amon. Is that correct, please? Over to you.
That's correct. Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, please, we can. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Opeyemi, for that beautiful insight into what we can be looking into in terms of Education 4.0. And personally, I'm an advocate of the the immersive technology, which is looking into augmented reality, virtual reality, and all the like. So well done. And I hope universities and other institutions, not just universities, secondary schools, and all of that buy into this idea. Okay, so a quick announcement. There are a couple of them that I need to go through. I've got 5 minutes, so I'm going to just whiz through all of it. So there is a technical business meeting. The WORI chapter is having a presentation titled Sequence Stratigraphy and Plate and Demarcation in predicting stratigraphic and hydrocarbon distribution. That's going to take place on the 28th of September, so which is in a couple of days, next week, actually. So please do sign up for this event. And the next one is, again, Port Harcourt chapter is featuring a presentation on the 4th of October. So this will be good as well for us to join. And further announcements on the NAPE Annual International Conference, which is happening in November. And that's taking place in Lagos, Echo Hotel and Suites. So that's between 12th and 16th of November. Please, everyone is encouraged to actually register for this as a member of this association. Register for the conference, which is what I've talked about, and the prizes. Actually, the cost of it is not too bad. So I know the cost of living is quite high now, but again, not too bad for students and for individuals as well. So please be encouraged to sign up for this or register for it. And the NAPE exhibition, which is happening as well in November from the 12th to 16th of November, still same in Eco Hotel. So please do try to register for this. Deadline for us to subscribe for this is on the 3rd of November. So please bear this in mind and pay good attention to this and register. Other events is short courses that are being taught. They are 2 days courses from 11th to 12th of November. I just went through all of the headlines for the courses, and they are very, very interesting. So please do register for this. And from 12th to 16th of November, just from 12th to 11th to 12th of November, there's another date here for a different one, which is 12th to 16th of November. So as NAPE members, please be encouraged to pay your dues. I don't know how many of us are actually really doing this, so please be encouraged to pay your dues. That's what shows that we are members of this great association. And student fees 2,000 Naira, and active members is 12,000 Naira, and corporate member is 50K. So please do pay up the dues. That's what we use in running the association. Thank you. So please pay up your dues, and these are the account details where you can pay up your dues, to. Please do take a screen grab if you don't already have these details to hand. And this conference, actually the date says 20th to 21st of September, which is meant to be yesterday and today. So which then means it's currently ongoing. So yeah, if you're there, well done. And if you've been there, also well done. And the African Energy Week, which is coming up as well on the 16th to 20th of October in Cape Town in South Africa. Please do register for this. I know we can't all attend all events, but do pick and choose and look at which one is most relevant to you, especially in terms of your professional growth, and then register for these events. Finally, I think the monthly technical meeting sponsorship. So yeah, we are open to sponsorship of our monthly technical meeting. So please speak to your organizations, for sponsorship of these events. We'll be more than happy to come over to your organization to present especially some of the things, cutting edge technologies, and some of the things that new updates within the industry. And yeah, think this is a Venus Medicare is encouraging us to register with them or be a partner with them or something, and for our healthcare, basically, because this is geoscience and this is Medicare. So yeah, we are into everything. Yeah, votes now. Voting is open actually. No, it's not open yet. Open. Yeah, it's open 1st September to end of October. October 15th. So please vote for the new ESCO for the 2023-2024 election. Please, you can only do that if you're a registered member, though. So if you're not a registered member, you won't be able to do this. So please register and vote. And these are the people that are contesting for this, for the various positions. President-elect John Bosco Uche, Vice President Ehi Bazwaye, and every other candidate. You can find all of these details on our website as well. So please do register and vote. This is how we can promote the organization, or the NAPI organization. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the announcements, our PS standing. We appreciate that. So we now like to give the vote of thanks. I don't know, we had Dr. Drobiton online come on to give the vote of thanks earlier. Is he still there? No, I think we lost him. If I could briefly, on behalf of NAPE, thank our presenter, Mr. Opeyemi Ibukun, for a very good presentation, and also to thank his company for allowing him to share this with us. We also like to thank everyone who's joined today. The questions have been answered, the Q&As have been answered, so I noticed that that's going on. So that brings us to the end of our technical session for this month, and we can open up now for some networking. But thank you, Opeyemi, for the presentation, and thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I think I have some questions on the can we stop recording, please, if you don't mind? Thank you. So